Okay, so we're going to take a look at 20 games from August 28th. This is Tier 6 Strongholds, SHAMBAZMOLAM clan. We've got a 65% win rate this night. We won a whole bunch early and then we lost a few late to really good teams. We're going to take a look at what we did well and what we could improve upon. Sand River against an ARL, 12T, and a bunch of 85Ms. And I guess a Firefly too. So we're going to try to get, there's pretty much two ways to play this map, I think. Try to get some kind of dominance through the middle ridge. I think that's probably mostly the best play. It allows for more flexibility, so you can see we're sending most of our mediums up there. I'm going to try to get spotting here. The other way you can play this map is to rush hard down K line and into one line. And so there's a light tank. It'd be really nice to get him out. Looks like he's not exactly overcommitting. And we got to be careful because if he's squirreling around over there and there's nobody else spotted, he's likely to have fire support from their ridge by base and kind of D2. So we just have to be careful not to overexpose when we're trying to kill him. Since nobody's spotted, I'm assuming already that they're camping. And so right here I actually have ridiculous view range that gets them spotted consistently. The middle guys here can move up a little bit to hopefully get some shots. That middle group, calling for somebody to come back behind me and use a position up here that'll be out of render for them. Not out of render, but out of max view range. I'm telling them that there's going to be guys at D2 trying to get an angle from the north. So camp breakdown is about getting various angles of fire. Should have had maybe a guy go to this area right here. I think that's a really strong position on the backside of the hill. You're protected against fire from here. So we're trying to get that 12 ton out. I shot Artie. Tons dead, and these guys basically have to tuck in to cover now and be aware that Artie's going to probably come and shoot them. These guys are clearly camping. Removed their vision, but the D2 area has plenty of overwatch and spotting capacity. So we are getting some shots up there. I was kind of hoping, I don't know if he has effective fire there. I think up there is really, really strong because it's elevated. So I don't think I can't remember if we've lost much hit points yet. I should probably move up to the next sand dune and try to get vision even if I'm spotted. If they're taking bad shots at me, I might get them spotted a little bit. I felt like it was likely that they were going to have a bunch of dudes in that F1 area. And that, oh, there we go. And that, maybe we can get under them, under their D2 firing position. So there you go. That's exactly what you can't do. Like this is like too close for a Cromwell. Cromwells have got to be back there. Here we go. We're finding various angles. It's just strictly due to the camo value. I have like, I don't know, 35% camo rating on this tank when it's moving. And Cromwells, when they're moving, have probably like 10% or something in that range. We were, I remember now, we were going to have these Cromwells close in, but once we saw that there were probably too many tanks up there, we decided to just duck into cover. So now I'm saying don't lose any hit points to these guys. We'll have to find another way to do this. Yeah, like that's a bad play. He's way too tucked in. So we probably could have had our other Cromwells disengage, come all the way around, and then attack them down that flank. That probably would have been a strong play. I'm wondering if we can get our 4 tanks to the north into the fight somehow. Sit here, try to spot a little bit. There we go. Hopefully we can get some fire into these guys. Now I'm telling the guys in the south basically just to chill because they don't really have a valid play here. So now I'm suppressing these guys up on top. Hopefully that our north 4 can get in there and cause some chaos. They should have the ability to stay out of the lanes of fire. They're not really moving together very well, I think, is part of the problem. They should be able to get under the line of fire, though. Yeah, they just got separated too much. There's a one-shot down there we didn't manage to take out. So now it's becoming very tricky to win this game. We're realizing that and we're saying, you know what, we'll see if they can drive across the entire map and kill us all in 3 minutes. Let's just get out. And so, completely just trying to plink shots here to slow them down. That Cromwell didn't leave, he died. This Cromwell needs to be leaving. He's going to get spotted on that hill. Like that. And that. Now if we're going to retreat and try to hold them off, going to have to save a few hit points for the end. So, you know, basically that Cromwell's now half health and the one that was already up there died. It becomes much more difficult, even though I think they've got 2 tanks that are one-shots. There's multiple ways really to do this, I guess. I like the bushes up right next to Cap. I think this tank's gonna get spotted, and yeah, he's spotted as well. Kinda like these, as long as you got some different people able to give you fire support as well. Hopefully that Crown B up on the ridge will be able to do some good. Ultimately I gotta knock some hit points down so I can reset Cap via killing a tank rather than just resetting them. Otherwise they're just gonna have too much stuff capping. Oh, that's bad aiming right there. Should have tried to make that one count more. So it's hoping to slip down here. Doesn't quite work. That was not intentional. I was trying to just drag myself down the cliff. I wonder if we should have these guys go to the back side of the ridge so my position would have been a little more protected as well. If they would have went down 0 line, that might have been a better play. So they camped the whole game. We weren't able to effectively take it down. I think the mistake was either we should have disengaged from the north and committed all of our stuff down the one line into F1, or you know, we could have moved in more coordinated way. When we sent 4 against 3, we lost all 4 tanks when we tried to get under their guns, and you know, 2 tanks were a one-shot. That was probably closer than it looked. Also, maybe we should have waited to push. It's something I've said before, wait to push camps until you just don't have any time left, because you know, if we would have waited another 30 seconds or whatever, they they would have probably not had time. Well, 41 seconds, I guess. They may not have had time to cap. So, you know, timing your go for it push with the designated survivor a little later game is another thing we should have probably done. Alright, I'm Maravanka. Generally going to take most time to strong position in the woods. They have no vision. And their mobility is going to be a little worse than ours in general. They got the heavy tank 6 that they gotta deal with, or not deal with, but it's going to slow them down. You know, whether I send all the tanks to the woods versus just some of them, it kind of varies depending on what I think they're going to do. I want to like be really, I want to have a definitive win over here if we can get it. I'm being very aggressive. I wouldn't usually do this if they have light tanks. I wouldn't go this aggressive down this line, but I kind of think they're not going to be here, and I want to know that early. And I got guys in position to support me. They're not here, so we got to get vision back on the cap. The Cromwells can move more to the middle. I'm going to try to push vision down the A line. There's a couple awesome bushes up here, and there's a couple awesome bushes down on the K line as well. So now hopefully the Cromwell should be in position to support with crossfire if I do spot anybody. I always set myself in a position to run away. You gotta be a little careful down this way. There's a couple angles where they can get kind of weird vision on you if they're sitting down over there, but generally what I'm really trying to spot is the base of the hill at like C4, D3 area. Probably what we should do is have a Cromwell or two go to the south, or Cromwell or two go to the north. Talking about being ready to move into that position, I don't think we're going to really do it. And I'm also saying that we really need to clear the K-line corner. There we go, there's a tank spotted by our 64, and we're not really in position to help him. I think he got a little too deep with his vision. I think he should have stayed like at K6 or 7 until we had Cromwells in position, but now that we're... I believe he thought that there were multiple tanks in that corner, and so our Cromwells are moving to be able to shoot into that corner. I probably shouldn't be spotted here. This is probably a mistake. Yeah, there's the heavy tank. Usually if they're shooting from that angle, this hill will provide some cover. Now I'm just trying to keep my Cromwell alive so I can't get worried too much about being spotted. Still use the hill, but you know, I needed to keep my friends alive here. Cromwells in the south are trying to work on them, because I feel like at this point we're going to lose the north, and so the Cromwells in the south are the only chance to win this game. Bob's doing an awesome job of running away from this guy. And again, I'm kind of anticipating that myself and Bob will probably die, or at least Bob will. And the Cromwells in the south have to win. That's their only chance here. I guess alternatively they could have came to the north. That might have been a decent play to try to mop up these three. Part of what I'm doing here is trying to hold them so they can't crash into our Cromwells. But it doesn't do me any good to stay there now, I don't think. I think I need to be ready to support with side fire. What they should do is go support their team where our 3 Cromwells are pushing into the south. So I'm going to surf the ridge here to try to spot them as they're moving. Assuming they will. There's one. So there we go. We actually did a really good job in that corner. They were put in a hard position and made it work. Gotta just be a little aware. I should have the jump on them, so they shouldn't expect me to be here.
Just gotta be aware of crossfire from there. Yeah, so I put the house in the way of where I'm expecting fire. There we go. Maybe I should have hucked the house and just stayed put for a second. The heavy tank should not be able to get back into me now. So our guys have 7 hit points and enough. And I've got enough to take a shot from the Cromwell, but not the heavy tank. So I'm going to work back vision. The heavy tank could be chasing me. That I need to know about that immediately, so I turn back. The Cromwell should probably just post up. Yeah, there's the heavy tank. He really hasn't moved. Really trying to protect my hit points there, just so I dive back. I thought about using Artie if he was going to be like just sitting there, but he was moving, so I didn't. So I'm saying that our middle Cromwell, if he can like knock that guy out in the middle, because he should just be able to one-on-one him and win that, because that other dude's a 2-shot, and our Cromwell, oops, our Cromwell is like a 4-shot. Our Cromwell in the south really should be moving to support him up into this region here, because I just don't know if he probably has effective fire here, but if he wants to go around this curve, which again he should probably be ready and willing to do that because of the hit point scenario, then this guy doesn't have effective fire, so he needs to work up down into the one line. You know, again, with 7 hit points, you don't really want to be spotted. I don't really want to be spotted either. I need to assume that Cromwell will die, or we need to kill the Cromwell, and I need to be able to flank and hold vision. The Cromwell should have fallen back at this point, which is a little bit of a misplay. We shouldn't have waited. As soon as we saw him there, we probably should have charged him with our Cromwell with some health. So there he went into the depression. Now he's going to try to spot up on the hill. Our other Cromwell should have crossfire. There's a position on the ridge right here where we can crossfire into this location in the D3 area. And it's also in some bushes. Yeah, C1 is a precarious position. They could have also fallen back again now into this area, which is going to be a little bit of a tricky scenario if they're there. So I'm double bushed here. I'm not going to shoot these if I'm not double bushed. Again, because I'm a 1-shot, and if I'm caught, then I'm dead. There's the Cromwell on the... Yeah, so I saw him on the mini-map, and I knew I needed to leave. That was pretty lucky. But now we're in pretty good shape, so we can attack. I checked the heavy tank. He's behind the ridge, so I can progress. I'm thinking, ooh, it's still a little bit tricky. Maybe I should just dive into cover and start the cap. If he turns around to engage me, then we should have back shots on him, but he's not. He's going to shoot our mediums. And we should have 2-on-1. This should be a win, even without me. But I'll go, since we're committed, I'll go in. So pretty good takedown. A couple things could have gone better. That engagement in the south when we lost our light tank right away wasn't very good. After that, the guys in the south played really, really well to bring us back into that game. Again, I think I could have brought them to the north and then dealt with the south later. Lots of different ways that one could have gone. Alright, on Abby. Generally strong plays through the 1-2 line. This is a little bit of a tricky lineup for us, especially in a map that's corridor in nature. It seems like mostly the team that sits and waits, it gets rewarded on this one, which is kind of lame. We're going to try to bait them to attack into us, basically. So I'm going to check the middle. If they're there, it changes our plan. Just the light tank now. So at the very least, we know that they've got one of their tanks separated. You know, in a way that could make us feel good about attacking. And when I got a hit from that angle, so now that I got two tanks that I know aren't up on the ledge there, so we're going to attack it. Our guys should be going to the low road here, because you can get they'll get spotted through the middle. Yeah, exactly like that. They should have gone low road. And so we're going to tack up onto the ledge in H3, knowing that at least two of their tanks seem not to be here. Now here we go. I should really go join them. I'm going to start to work on that corner. I'm going to see if I can't help our guys out with an arty strike, and then I'll go join them. So already got one. We probably should just go attack it. I mean, the problem is attacking up into those mediums can be challenging. Now they're coming from the south, so we need to do something. We need to go up. I think I was saying like be prepared to go up. But now that they're forcing the fight, and now that they're split again, we know for sure they're split. We're gonna force a fight somewhere. So we're gonna go uphill here. Try to finish these guys and then turn around. I'm looking at the mini map. We're still in pretty good shape here, so. I think this could have happened earlier. Another thing here too is that our guys really need, with health, really need to get into this immediately. I was using the dead tank here to shield myself from him. Because I'm a two-shot, we got tanks that are, you know, they can take several. Now it's just hunting. I expect their light tank will be moving one way or the other back into our flank or back to support them. We're going to try to protect our low health tanks to some degree. I could probably take one, but both our Cromwells can take several shots from him. So I'm just going to speed up the replay in a second here. Basically, we drive around the map until we find them. You know, there's lots of different ways to say, okay, how do we find a light tank? Where do you likely go? But I think a couple important points there is that when I got hit from the middle, I think we should have been more decisive and attacked up into the ledge. The only problem with that is if you overcommit to that ledge, the ledge in this area, is the problem with that is that you can expose yourself to fire from their base, and they clearly had guys in the base. So we kind of like half committed, then backed off and waited for them to drive around. And when they were flanking, then the guys weren't in the base anymore, and we were able to clean up top. The arty strike obviously helped too. So we're gonna speed the replay. We end up just going around here and finding him in the corner. We probably should have pushed him into the ravine here. Like that. This game on Abbey again. We're going to try some variant of the same thing, because generally it works. I'll go up into a dominant position, and I think the other light tank disconnected here. He gets back on. But the idea is to get up into a dominant position. I'm going to go forward to see if I can both spot but also bait them if I can into overextending out of the other dominant position at C3. Check the middle, you can do this bush, you can do the other one. So there's a Cromwell, one of their fast tanks, so it would appear that we should probably make a move here. It'd be nice if they had attacked into us and overcommitted. I'm telling our guys, yeah, there we go, to get to G2 right now. So they'll be ready to go high road or low road. So now that these guys are in, our guys should be attacking in right now. They're committed. It looks like just their Cromwells are here. Or sorry, it looks like they're split, not just their Cromwells. One of the 34th. So right here is a mistake. We needed to go right now. So that little bit of a hesitation there. We need to go in immediately, just like that. Focus fire. We called the Cromwell. Unfortunately, kind of fell back. You can see they've got a guy on the low road that can't really support their team right now. But we're kind of rolling. Be careful not to fall down the cliff ourselves. We've got pretty good focus fire going on all told, and also they're split, so they don't have a couple other tanks here, which was super important why we got in. So they capped us for a split second. We know where at least one of their tanks is, probably their light tank. We need to finish this quickly and then we'll turn around and go deal with their light tank. He could probably wait. No, he didn't need to wait. The team was right there. Good takedown. You know, it's a couple things that become really evident. So he's just in cap, we know roughly where he is. The Cromwell in the middle should spot him too. A couple things that are really evident is, you know, when you're rolling, you just need to keep the momentum going and keep the pursuit on. With the focus fire, these tanks, the way the hit points work out is that basically if every tank shoots one of the enemies once, they're pretty much nearly dead. So when you think about it like that, when you're in mass, basically you land one shot, you've done your job, and you're on to the next target. That last 30-45 man was a good example. You know, basically we had 3 tanks. He had lost a little health, but we had 3 tanks. Every tank shot twice. The reloads on these things are you know, well under 4 seconds. So within 4 seconds, 3 tanks shooting twice kills a tank. You know, I mean, it's important to keep that momentum and keep the DPM high in these tanks when you're playing in that style. So the question is where to go. We've kind of got an overwhelming force at this point. We got a little bit of a issue with some tanks that are low health. We could probably play this a little more carefully. I feel like they're expecting us to come from the B3 area and drive across that field. And so we still have to drive across the field, but if we do it from a direction that's less expected, maybe we'll have better luck is kind of the thought. So ultimately we want to close. Maybe we should have had the guys post up in the corner and shoot across. I don't know. But you can see we're getting really close here. I'm saying, oh, we're not spotted. They must be up in the overwatch position. But they're not. They're right there. So we're committed. We're just going to close now. I think the light tank got shut down by HE shell. That 3045M is doing a really good job of focusing down our low health tanks. So right here we're all together. 50-2 in the open. We probably don't need to go around the corner. Probably should have stopped and shot the 50-2 while their 85M was frozen. Again, here it's a matter of just getting our DPM in the game as much as possible. Finish low health. 50-2 is much less concerning in general, just because you can do such little damage with the shots. You know, it kind of stretches your HP out. So a close game, maybe didn't play that the safest at the end. It worked out. We're pretty aggressive when we needed to be against part of their team. Part of that was recognizing early on that they were split and that we needed to be really aggressive against them on the 1-2 line. On Redshire now against a relatively immobile lineup. The 846 is not a strong tank. It's their vision. It actually has not very good vision. So we're going to try to play these guys from range as much as possible. You can see I'm being very aggressive as I'm driving into position. Our other 64 is going to stay back and just try to get safe spots. I'm being very aggressive because, well, 2 reasons. I don't think I'm going to get spotted because they don't have anybody with vision and anybody fast enough to get into me. I shot those only because I would have been spotted if I was in the open, but I shot those only because I didn't see any other tanks and I had double coverage through those bushes. I wouldn't have shot that if I was in the open. I would have been looking for cover. So now, because of their team, I want to clear this side as fast as possible. So I'm telling the Cromwells I'm going to take the corner, support me, so we can start chipping away at their other tanks. All right, so then I get 2 spots. I'm a little bit worried about how close they were. And this tank has such awesome camo that I don't get spotted, but it made me nervous for a second there. Now this guy's closing. He'll definitely spot me if he catches me in the open. Probably should have just stayed in those bushes, actually. Right behind this house, right there is where I should have stayed. The 64 in the middle can probably be a little more aggressive with vision and or shots. I think he's probably getting shots right here. Our Cromwells also have to realize that because their tank was so close, yeah, exactly, they have to be careful with their shots too because they'll get spotted. The 46 rather, the light tank. So now just surfing around looking for different angles of vision. It looks like if the 3485M was there that late into the game, that's what they're doing, they're camping. That's the assumption. Our middle 64 is not finding anything. So we can cruise around and find vision here. Lots of different ways to attack this. In general, the most effective way to take down a camp seems to be to get different angles of fire. I think they sat down trees, so they're all blind firing it. There's the light tank again. He's going to be down in that ravine, so it's going to be tricky to get shots into him. Oh, now he jumped out of it though. Yeah, I was going to say, I'll get spotted there. Part of playing light tanks in general, but also in Strongholds, is knowing when you're going to be spotted. And you know, I was moving out of the lane of fire well before the Sixth Sense went off because I knew I was going to be spotted. I was also trying to make sure we secured his kill. That's why I was doing that in the first place, putting myself in a position to be spotted. But I knew I was going to take damage if I didn't make it quick, so I had to make it quick. We're moving our Cromwells, by the way, into different areas of support fire. That middle position is very strong. It can shoot so much of the map. As long as they stay up in those bushes, they'll be unspotted, and me and the other 64 will work vision. And that ultimately, I guess, is what it's all about when you're trying to take down a camp. It's about trying to push vision out. Trying to, with that, take safe shots, take damage when you're not going to take, or get damage without taking any in return. So you can just rush them at the end, especially if they've got heavy tanks like these guys do. That's really ultimately your the way you win. The way to win is with. Is there a little pass up there? Interesting. The way to win is to get free damage at distance, and then you can close them and dictate it. I guess you can get through. So I'll shoot these, but again, I'm pretty sure there's a tank or two right below this ridge. So when I run out of shots, I'll try to push my vision. Actually, I'm going to have another Cromwell join me here. His shots were going to run out. There's too many buildings and things in the way. So we'll have pretty good crossfire though. Yeah, little microplays. There's a good microplay. I'm just trying to keep my tank minimally exposed in case I were to get spotted. So I'm going to work as much as I can through these bushes. I'm highly expecting to get spotted as I do this. These pokes. This guy will start to get shredded here. Or he should. By our guys in the middle. We're going to make him come up and over. And into the line of fire. So now that they're pushing us, our middle group's going to have to react. So our middle group's going in now. They didn't have shots. They're going to go in. Our Type 64 is flanked the E2. He's got his turret turned. Our Cromwell should be able to crash right into that. Bob actually does a pretty good job there. So we got a lot of hit points. Though we lost 2 tanks, we got a lot of hit points out of them. E2's derping, so we gotta shoot him in the side when he's not looking. And then the rest of the Cromwells can just kind of run wild and collapse their flank here. And again, I feel like we had to push because they were committing 3 tanks to go kill me and Bob. So they were going to get 2 kills, and we had to make them pay for it. We had to make the 2 deaths on our team cost them something, and ideally the win, because ideally they're out of position. So that was the whole theory there. They overcommitted to kill our 2 tanks, so we then gain an overmatch somewhere. We'd already killed the light tanks, so we had a tank advantage on the other side, so we needed to close and force the win immediately. And then here is just cleanup. So that was a pretty good game, pretty fluid. Unfortunately, they just camped, so it was kind of boring. Okay, so I think most dominant, easy to control position is on the north of this map from either side. I think there's too many wild cards playing through the south. You end up exposing yourself to too many angles of fire. So we're going to go to the north. I'm going to stay back here just in case they are trying something crazy. I'll spot them if they're going through the middle here. Sometimes you'll spot them if they're late getting across here and they're going to go to the south. I always have to be aware of that from this position. So I was spotted there, which tells me there's probably a light tank in the bush. Yeah, that was a bad play. There's probably a light tank in the bush, like right in the middle of the map there. But I did get some information about that. So likely, if the Firefly is there, likely they're down a tank on the north. So we can probably start to work that a little bit. See, they're falling back. This should be an overmatch. Their heavy tank hasn't shown up. There it is finally. But their Firefly is completely out of position. So we have 3 tanks of theirs out of position, so we can just roll in. That's the quick recognition of an overmatch, and that's exactly what these tanks do well, is that they are able to react quickly when you have an overmatch. So we lost a tank, we lost some hit points, but they have a light tank in the middle spotting me that's not going to be able to really do anything. Got a Firefly and an ARL. We still got to be a little careful as we approach this, so we do it in a way that works. Again, spotted there from the middle. There's a light tank in the middle. He hasn't moved. I click on the map to let the guys know where that is. We're going to try to work around to the north. I'm not sure why the one Cromwell is stuck back up there on the ridge, so I'm going to die here. But again, this gets to be an issue of we really need to then win, because now they have a tank that's not shooting, so we need to go now and win where we can. We really should probably focus the medium here because the DPM. This DPM is going to be much better, and then once the medium dies, we'll shoot the heavy. And that's where I feel like we're a little slow coming around the corner there. These guys need to be in the fight right away. And now we need to also be positioning ourselves to not take damage from that 12T. So right there, I thought that he could have ducked behind this tank, like that one's doing. That we could have used cover a little bit. He's rushing across the field to use that mound as cover, or go to that tank is another way. I thought he should have tucked in there, but ultimately he doesn't. He was going for that other dead tank. I thought he should have gone to the dead Firefly or whatever that was. But now we got a full health tank, able to go right at him. The problem is it's a 12 ton. It's going to have a little bit of mobility on us, but he really can't clip us out. We said just we'll pursue with one tank and then hold the low health tank back in base just in case something crazy happens. You can't get 2 kills. You'll have to spend a clip, 2 clips really, killing the Cromwell, and a lot of time. So that I don't think you'd be able to shoot 2 clips and get back to reset. Especially if the Cromwell's chasing him the whole time, he's gonna have to go crazy places to get out of the way. Abby again. We're going to try a similar strategy. We're going to try to hang back just a little bit, force them to move, and then we'll react to them moving. So if we're doing this, we'll usually send a single tank out front. And I don't mind doing it. Like the last one, I died, but it got us correct information, and it got us moving in response to that information correctly. So if we lose a tank doing that, and then we mop them up, it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna flip our tank here, apparently. So we're gonna get all our tanks ready to fly down. The 64 is just watching vision from behind. I'll try to get vision through the middle. If they're there, they're to be spotted, and it allows us to do different things. If they are spotted in the middle, we can do, it depends on what's spotted. Like if there's 2 tanks, I think we fly down this flank. There we go. So we're gonna get all our Cromwells stacked up, and hopefully these guys push into me because they see, oh, there's a lone light tank. Let's go kill him. So here we go. They're on the corner. We're gonna crash down into them to the south, the low road now, because we got a 6-on-4 and Artie, I think, misses, but I maybe should have tried to cross, but you know, if these guys spend time chasing me, my thought is I'll die, but they'll spend time chasing me. So now we've got a tank not with the overmatch. We've got, yeah, he killed me with HE, I guess, underwater, because HE works underwater. Now we got our Cromwells confirming the kill and then working in unison again. You know, so it at least took a tank out of the fight for a while. We got to kill the low health. There we go. Keep pushing up the hill. We really need to keep driving up the hill here. Perfect. Focusing fire. There you go. See, you know, you don't have to. It does not take long to kill these things. This is a really good job right here of this tank. Whoever this is, Bob, trying to stay out of the lane of fire. He was going to cross, and then he decided to hold and then back up to give the guys that were coming around lanes of fire too. Even though he was going to sit there and take damage for it, it really ultimately doesn't matter. That was a really good play by him. It's very subtle, but allows the momentum to keep moving. So again, that was a pretty good takedown of concentrating your force, especially if you can recognize when they're split like that. I don't mind sacrificing myself to pull one of their tanks out of the battle for a while, because again, it makes it's a force multiplier. You know, every tank that they don't have in the battle, even though I'm not in the battle, we already had them as a split force. Now we're splitting their force 3 ways instead of 2. So, you know, we're split 2 ways, but not really. I'm just kind of serving another purpose. Our bulk force is rolling and killing stuff, and their force is then split 3 ways. That's good for us. All right, so now for something completely different, we finally get an open map again, rather than a bunch of corridor maps that we were working on. So we just basically need to establish vision in the middle and then work the Cromwells out. Playing through the middle here is not a good play with your main force. So we're going to send light tanks out front, and the Cromwells will try to follow. So now their whole team is spotted, and I have no idea what they're doing. I just got done saying this is generally not a good play, and this is exactly why we have our entire team in position to shoot them as they drive across an open field. We're not getting the most hits right now, but they'll start to fall. And I'm just going to chill in this bush for as long as I feel like I can. It's a single 34. I told our light tank to just go harass him, because he's not really accomplishing anything now anyway, so he'll secure that flank. We've got Cromwells everywhere else with tons of vision from the center position here. You know, essentially we're just getting multitudes of free damage at this point. Probably not as much as I'd like, though, honestly. We should probably have a lot more damage here. Based on the way that they're stacking up on that building, I feel like we need to probably get a tank into K0. The tanks by the pool or by the pond there are going to have to be a little bit careful. These guys are going to be in in firing angles for them if they're spotted. You can see now that that Cromwell is absolutely trying to push vision out. He knows that we've got a significant advantage in terms of positioning. I've got my tank, I believe, turned around now, so I can, when I do decide to shoot, I can run if I need to. Leo was spotted. I did wait till he was behind the bush there. I kind of half thought that those guys, that 64 was going to spot me now. Now I probably will get spotted, yep. But I can use the cover down here. We ended up sending another Cromwell off to the north too to just complete the flank, partially because it's going to give us more firing angles. There's the other 45 amp in the open. That was a bad shot. Another bad shot, and delete him a little more. So we've got pretty good positioning. That Cromwell really needs to die. He's spotting for their team. I feel like I can close. I'm also going to shoot in the open here because I don't think I'm going to get shot back at. I've got tanks covering my rear end basically coming across the field now and closing, and I don't think that these guys can shoot at me because they'll be turning their turrets. Here's a good example too of how in general I would be setting up my next shot. Yep. Oh, that's fine. At any rate, turning my turret so I can engage the next tank. We were going to try to drown him there. I guess we shot him instead. Turn my turret so I can engage the target and then be ready to set up my next shot. It's hard to do that in the Cromwell with the gun depression over the back of the tank. Okay, so here's another open map. Generally, I believe the zero line to be much stronger play on this map. It's big though, and you kind of want vision, so I'll often send a single light tank over here. This is a really powerful location if you can get here cleanly. Again, my purpose here is to leave immediately if I feel like I'm getting threatened. The other tanks on the other side, you know, we could have all stayed together, I suppose. Leaving them a little out to dry if they all go that line. But they should just naturally be split by speed differences. The ARL and Fury are a little bit slower. I'm going to push vision when I see a tank over there. You know, likely they're not that split. Maybe being a little aggressive here. I expect, oh, that's right. So I expected, because of the way that he was playing this, and he fell back into the valley here, I expected what they were trying to do, set up a crossfire. So it's really common to set up tanks in this area in the middle in like F4, and then they'll have crossfire. If we push into them, we're going to get crossfired. So I'm kind of setting up anticipation. You can see when I was spotted there, it kind of basically confirms that. I probably shouldn't have. I should have waited to go dark maybe a little more there, but so I should be spotted when I shoot these. Oh, I'm not. Must have just the right angle against them here. And turn my tank around so I can leave immediately if I need to. I do expect there to be tanks, you know, setting up in some sort of crossfire. So if there's somebody down in this area, there's some people down in the ravine here, maybe there's a couple back up there, especially with the ARL spotted, like basically they have to be camping. So yeah, I'm clicking on the map where I'm telling the guys that there's likely to be a tank or two. And we're also going to reposition our tanks so we can win that area. There's a depression there that we can use to kind of break them out of that. It's exposed, like just in general, this actually is a really strong position. It's relatively exposed. There's some hard cover and some soft cover, but kind of from either direction there's ways to get into it and be both, you know, be really defensive basically. have lots of different firing angles. I guess it's kind of like the angle where our cromwells are now. This is just like a really powerful position. So is this. So our cromwells and myself will then, as soon as I run out of shots here, we'll attack down into that middle strong position. They can't have too much there, enough to like threaten 3 tanks anyway. So we're gonna take it, and then we'll have hard cover. Yeah, I keep clicking on it. Oh, I think I remember. Before we were gonna go, we were gonna have crossfire from the other group of cromwells set up. Alright, now we'll go into this depression here. This will be a really, really strong position. Yeah, right here, this you get deep vision from here. You get all kinds of bushes to work through. Don't have the good gun depression to work this though. But again, that's why I wanted these guys in position here, because they should have crossfire when he jumps behind that building and stuff. Just like that. A little surprised I'm spotted there. But I don't really need to risk my tank too much here. How is he shooting me? That's insane. There we go. Now I can use these bushes after I go dark to really spot them out. Now, because they're so distracted with our tanks here, our other cromwells can close. I was probably a little careless. So our group on the other side now can close distance and attack in. Their ARL and Struve and other 85M have no chance to support them, so we're going to have I guess a 3-on-2 over there, and I believe we whittled them down a little bit. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. I actually was going to have the other 2 cromwells go all the way back around so we could win it more forcefully than a 3-on-2. And so I'm having those guys just chill and try to wait for the other cromwells. So they're going to back up. And again, because of where I am, they can actually go under the bridge here quite a bit and not risk their tanks. I'm using RD view mostly here to see what's going on. So yeah, you can see that those two 234 RD5Ms have basically no chance to get reinforcements in there just because of where I'm at with my vision. We'll know that they're coming. They probably would have won, but we'll save a lot of hit points if we take a 5-on-2 rather than a 3-on-2. And we had enough time to do it. It's not, the cromwells are fast, so. Now that our cromwells are here, we'll see how dominant this engagement ends up being. You know, we've taken like 2 or 2.5 shots now. Now they're just going to keep rolling, so now they have the ability to get under them. Now they finally, their tanks have reacted. I need to close. Or at least get an alternate angle. There we go. Oh, that's pretty slim. Okay. So we should be able to close here. I think they're a little, maybe we're just a little too worried. Maybe we should just gone for it. Again, you can see our light tank going through the other way because he can. They're not holding that angle anymore because of where my tank is. And with him fading to the back corner, I feel even better about pushing across with our main force. So I think they're kind of hill fighting and corner fighting here. Every time these guys get shot in the side, not only obviously is it doing damage, but it's making him not take effective fire himself. So even a single tank flanking like this can make a big difference in how they're able to play. But yeah, at this point we're closing pretty hard, and they have not enough good angles or hit points to really make a difference anymore. I probably should have rammed them. I don't know what I was thinking there. Another game on open map, similar concept. We're going to try to get vision. Play them at range when we can, know what they're doing. Usually send a light tank to the middle, light tank up high somewhere, and then the Crom will start off heading up the hill as well. So this is a really important early spot if we can kill this 64. I'm expecting them to blind fire me here. I believe I probably shouldn't have shot that. I believe they said that this is a good team, and so good players and good teams will know where to blind fire. There, I've shot through the bush there. Wait till he's in a bush, and then he's double bushed with respect to me. Really would have liked to kill him there. That would have been really nice to take a tank out, take out their vision. Since he's running, I'm contemplating heading up to the next further bush. But really, we've got our 64 up top, kind of getting similar vision that I would accomplish by doing that. So you can see their more heavily armored mediums are getting up the hill, kind of at about the same time our Cromwells are. It'd be nice to get up there and kind of keep them at bay. It's a little bit of a bear because of their armor advantages. So that's a tricky fight, but we should be fighting them without their Thunderbolt, obviously, because their Thunderbolt's here shooting me. One of their 35s is shooting me as well. I should have probably posted up in one of those bushes now instead of kept running. Even this one might be a little too far. Yep. So the Cromwells were saying that they were having one heck of a hard time getting anything accomplished up there. They were worried about us, so we're going to fall them back into the woods, force them to push into us while maintaining vision with their 64. I need to really find another place to get vision as well. That was a really good play by that 64. He's going to get me here. So we have an even fight on the 0 line. Unfortunately, our 64 is caught out here. And now it gets ugly. So the way to do this is to make sure you're double bushed in this region as well. You know, I think they know better than to just push down the hill at us. But I think they're also feeling pretty confident. So here they come. We need to win this. This is the only chance is to somehow win this engagement and not get shot from the back too much. I would expect their light tank to be working angles from the rear of our position anytime now. Yep, there he is. We probably should have sent somebody to go attack their 64 immediately. So at least we could cover our flank. And by disengaging with that main force, they probably would have been okay in terms of kind of vision control and not getting two shot from the hill because they weren't really in position quite yet. But yeah, what could go better? I don't know if we maybe should have tried to force the fight on the hill, because ultimately that same fight happened, but they had support with side fire. I suppose you could blame the light tanks for not maintaining dominance over the rest of the map. That would be something that could have gone better, and then we could have encircled their mediums. Maybe I was being a little too aggressive or cheeky with vision and should have just held my angles. Couple different ways that one could have gone better.